How do we top trading Drew Doughty to the Washington Capitals? Well, to be honest, I don't know if we can, but we still have to march on and really establish what this team is going to look like as we get ready for our next season. Again, another playoff failure set the stage for that offseason. A couple of twists and turns through the draft and the re-sign phase, but all in all, we're still looking to be set up quite well for the future, as of course we always look to be. Draft pick wise, of course, we have Washington and Ottawa's first round pick now, an extra second rounder as well from the Sens. Goalie wise, we do need to find a backup goaltender, not sure who that's going to be yet. And of course defensively, we're still looking okay. Time will tell though, like we do need to see some progression from some members of this defense, or a move might be necessary. And then again, forward wise too, there's not really much we have to do. It's just a matter of kind of keeping the team the same, waiting to see what kind of development we get, and then adjusting from there. So when you talk about the free agent list, of course, I want to talk about the goalies first because we mentioned all the available options. But for me, again, it comes down to either one of these numerous backups, which, take your pick, I mean, they're still going to be there in a month when I have the complete freedom to sign whoever I want, or we go for a prospect. And I mean, looking at the options here for guys who are asking for the most amount of money, which is usually a good sign. Again, there's Caden Brown, James Parker, Russ Cheng, Zane Bodie, Derek Lavin, Tristan Mille. I mean, there's quite a few options, of course, out of the options that we'd probably go with one of the bottom two, seeing as they are the youngest. So we'd be looking at either Brown or Parker. I'm more likely to go with Parker just for the fact that he is a bit taller. Played for the Oshawa Generals but didn't do much. So in terms of getting a prospect goalie, the options there, and then again, we can get a backup whenever we want. So I do think I am going to send out this offer to Parker. Hopefully we get something there from him. And again, we'll sign a backup goaltender at the beginning of the next month when, again, I have the complete freedom to sign whoever I want at that point. For defensemen, there is concerns over this defense, and I get that, but obviously that's paying Provorov way too much money. In terms of going for anybody here, we need to play it safe, because as I talked about, if Mo Marsh steps up, we technically have too many defensemen as it is, and I'd rather not have my hand forced when trading one of the defensemen already on our roster if that time, comes. So again, we're going to be looking at a depth option, at a prospect option, and the top option is 20 years old, but we're going to see what we get. Charlie Combs, 6'4", a monster on skates. You have Geet, Voinov, and Olsen down there as well, looking for $9.25. Jim Olsen, Dmitry Voinov, and Mark Geet, but we are going to go for Mr. Combs. And when it comes to the forwards, again, same thing. We do technically have space for one really good forward, but in terms of who to pay, where are they going to play, and is it going to force me to make a move I don't necessarily want to make right now? Yeah, it is. So again, we're going to look for a prospect, and it is going to be one of the top three, and it is going to be Schremp as a result. Jamie Schremp, 6'5", again, adding some size and grit potentially to this team. So those are the first three moves. I also look to completely redo the coaching staff, as you'll find out in a moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to sim ahead, see how this all plays out, and then make moves from there. But we have looked to completely redo the staff. So Guy Huberdeau is going to be our new head coach, A+ grade. So excited for that. Graham Lombardi is our new AHL head coach at an A+ overall. So again, kind of cheesing that a little bit, with owner mode being off. Antoine Gauthier-Leduc is our new AHL assistant head coach, or associate head coach, at an A overall. Blake Wheeler is now an AHL assistant coach, which is pretty cool. Maybe the future head coach of this team. Jorgen Huselius is the new AHL goalie coach. Let's see what else we have here. A scout signs in Pateni. Kurtz, another new scout of ours. Carcillo, not Daniel, of course. Unfortunately, Veilleux has rejected. That kind of sucks. Yansevsky signs as our goalie coach, which is pretty nice. Caden Jackson on as a scout. Bernier on as a scout. Menino on as a scout. Zach Pan as well. Schremp signs. Parker signs. Combs signs. So only one play did not go through there with the coaching staff, and that is for our associate coach. We're going to be looking for a forward-specific coach if we can find him. So the top-rated forward-focused coach is still Vayu. The problem is he rejected the top offer that I could send, which really sucks, because otherwise we're looking at Strong, which might be the way to go. Wade Strong. Offensive style, of course. Let's go for this guy, because I don't want to have to sit there and max out the money on anybody else, unless there is an NHL name here out of forward coaches, and there is not. Like if there was another Blake Wheeler. I'm going to go for Strong. I mean, A- still worth, using, again, as an associate coach. I don't want to bother trying to max out the money for that other guy, considering he already rejected. So we're going to bump up the money total here, not by a ton. I don't plan on hitting the cap. Let's go 1.5 and hope that that is enough. And it hopefully will be. So again, scouts taken care of, the coaching staff pretty much taken care of. We just need this dude to accept. Burns rejected. Now, I sent this dude an offer. He's an A-rated goalie coach. But unfortunately, I think the other dude accepted the contract first. And there we go. It's a Strong sign. So we're good. I do not want Jake Voracek for 2 first-round picks. I do not want Nicoletti for 2 first-round picks. Are those offers going to keep coming through? It looks like it. That's going to be annoying. Jared McCann has been dealt to Winnipeg for 2 prospects. I do not want Evgeny Malkin, as we are approaching where we need to be able to sign a backup goaltender this season. I do not want Erik Karlsson. I do not want Roman Josi. Oh my god, I don't want Sidney Crosby either. I can't believe I'm saying that, but still. Tanner Pearson dealt to Ottawa. Of course, I don't want Sid because I don't want to give up 2 first-round picks. I'm good on that front. I do not want Erik Karlsson. Of course, Mercier we just drafted as well, and that brings us to August 1st. So we do have to fill out this roster a little bit. Of course, right now only 38 players under contract. So goalie-wise, again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. we have room for one more dude. Had to bring us up to 6, so we need a backup. Of course, we don't know how good Tremblay or Parker happen to be yet, but we need an NHL-level backup for Carter Hart, who has a lot of pressure on his shoulders this season. Our main defense is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's good. And then depth is 1, 2. All right, so Combs is potentially a 3rd depth defenseman. I know it shows him in junior right now. So for our defense, we're actually fine. McNabb, Mercier, and Hendricks, again, I don't think we're signing right now. So defense, we're good. We just need depth forwards. We're just going to need a decent amount of depth forwards. And any of these dudes, not necessarily worth signing. Vandenbush is, a junior level player, so I can't sign him anyway. So yeah, I think we're good. Let's just go sign a couple of forwards, sign ourselves a backup goalie, and we are good to sim ahead and get a look at what this team is going to be heading in the next season. So who is left? I know I didn't take a look at all the major signings, and sorry if you wanted to see where players went. But for backup goaltenders, there's quite a few. So we have... Oh boy, what do we want to do here? How many do we have? Okay, it's this top list. So first and foremost, we have Mitch Gibson. What are your numbers recently, Mitch? Columbus, 898. Ugh, not great. Philip Larson. Hasn't really played in the NHL much. He was okay when he did play. He got 1 season as Detroit's starter. That's about it. Jack LaFontaine. Decent numbers at the AHL level. Pretty good numbers at the NHL level when he actually played. Jonas Korpisalo at 31. At least somewhat reliable NHL numbers, over a 900. Obviously, we've used Korpisalo before, but I'm not against using him here. Etu Makiniemi has had really good AHL numbers, but hasn't gotten a chance at the NHL level yet. So that could be somebody. Berdine, hit or miss at the NHL level. Dan Vladar. Okay, a bit hit or miss at the NHL level as well. And then Antti Ranta and Linus Ullmark. Linus Ullmark are the last two. Ranta, decent at the NHL level recently. He's 36, though. And then Ullmark, ugh. So the way I see it, it's either Ranta, Korpisalo, or Makaniemi. I'm going to kind of bring it between Makaniemi and Ranta. So they'll be bringing Antti Ranta as the kind of the veteran presence, or we give Eetu Makaniemi the chance at the NHL level that he hasn't gotten yet. Well, Eetu, congratulations. You're going to get an opportunity. 1-year deal. A prove-it contract. Let's see if you're NHL caliber. It's going to be the way to do it. From here, of course, there are still, third-line guys and everything. I'm not all that concerned about signing them. So Matt Luff. Ooh, Matt Luff is still a free agent, huh? Interesting. Now, I did just notice that Sam Bennett is looking for nothing. A nothing contract for Sam Bennett. Which, if you want to talk about a physical player for that fourth line, he could be it. However, he has spent the past few seasons in the AHL. So for that reason, I'd be more tempted to go with Matt Luff. Kayumov as well, of course, who we've been using. If I can bring back Matt Luff, I should. It'll help boost the team a little bit. So we're going to send him a deal. Boy, you really screwed yourself out of some money, didn't you, by trying to test free agency. I don't blame you. But you're really considering your options. Buddy, you don't have any options. I hate to tell you. Who else do we have? Nikolai Prohorkin, huh? Nikolai Prohorkin. Seems like so long ago you remember this team. It wasn't that long ago, though. I wonder if he actually still has any friends on the team. Could be worth signing him. Just give him that little bit of extra money to play it safe. So that brings us up to 46 contracts. And from there, Harper, Brett Leeson, Ilya Mikheyev. Bunch of minor league scoring forwards here. You know what we're actually going to do is just sort this by two-way and see what we're dealing with. Sam Bennett's willing to sign a two-way deal, but the problem is if he's a fourth liner, I absolutely have to play him. Which he could fit in very well on that fourth line, but that's a huge risk. Again, if I bring in Sam Bennett but someone improves, I can't immediately get rid of Bennett, so I can't sign him. I just can't risk it. Jordan Wheel, we could bring you in. I was going to say, you were a king a long, long time ago. Could look to bring you in. And I do want to sign somebody to a bigger contract. I just don't know who. Victor Rask is there. Marcus Sorensen. You know what? Brett Leeson. I'm good with signing Brett Leeson for the year. So that'll bring us up to, again, 47. I need to sign one more guy. I want to sign him for like $5 million, if not a little bit more, just to make sure that we're not well below the cap. So who is that going to be? Who gets the last deal? Wade Allison, Sanford, Aston Reese. Ilya Mikheyev might be my choice. Cedric Paquette. Oh, Sean Corrali. There's the answer. There's the answer. Sean Corrali. Is that favoritism? You're damn right it is. You're damn right it is. But we are going to go for Sean Corrali. And like I said, right now we are at $21,765,000. Let's say we just take an even $5 million off of that. Of course, that brings us down to 16. So we're going to go $6 million to play it safe. Normally $17 million is about the amount of open cap space. So, 7 works. Perfect. That scrolled faster than I thought it would. Sean, if you sign, we should be good to go. And I am very excited to see what this team is going to potentially look like, especially depending on the player development. I need to edit the trade block, though, because this is going to continue to be a nightmare. This is going to continue to be a nightmare. Leave me the hell alone, please. Please leave me alone. Corrali accepts Leeson, Luff, Prohorkin, Makaniemi. Fantastic. So let's do this. Let's sim ahead. Let's see what we're dealing with. Of course, we played it a little bit safe. We were a little bit conservative. It means the same thing. With the free agent signings, not wanting to risk it in case of player development. Will that hesitative nature, or just, I guess, the hesitation in general, will that come back to haunt me, is the question. Apparently we signed Craig Suter, or at least the Ontario Reigns signed Craig Suter, which means those 20-year-olds are actually still going to be in junior, is my guess. Really. So like Parker, Manderville, how many goalies do we actually have on roster then? You know, here, let's set up the team and then we'll double check this. I might actually have to go out and sign another AHL goalie just to play it safe. So our goaltending situation is going to be Hart and Makiniemi. I don't know yet what the goaltending situation is in the minors. Our defense, Clegg, Bjornfot. Oh God, we have to move a defenseman already. Clegg, Bjornfot, Sanderson, Zekov, and Anisimov. Phillips is a depth defenseman. Mo Marsh is a top 6 defenseman. So that kind of situation that I thought might happen, happened. We have to move a top 4 defenseman. I don't know who. It's obviously not going to be Anisimov. Like, his value is through the roof. But between Zekov, Sanderson, Bjornfot, and Clegg, somebody's got to go. And then, obviously, like Marcus Phillips can be the kind of perfect depth defenseman for us this season. I'm cool with him being in that role. He could also be in the minors if we wanted to bring in a veteran. It depends on who's in the minors for us. Forward-wise, what do we have? So it's Turcotte, Genther, Savoy, Grundstrom, Kapari. That's fine. That's looking okay. We don't have too many players there. We don't have too many players for the third line. Fourth line's okay. Curry is a minor leaguer. Fogamo is a minor leaguer. So right now we have 10, 11, and 12. So if we play Madden on the third line, we're good. Play one of these guys up in the top 6. And then fourth line's going to be Kopitar, Wagner, Luff. So I hate to say it, but Anze's down to the fourth line. And then in the system, do we have anybody to call up? We don't. Okay, so obviously anybody can be our depth option. Even Sean Corrali could be our depth option there. So let's take a look at who's in the minors and who isn't. And we'll figure that out, but we know we have to move a defenseman. So that looks pretty much perfect in terms of who's scratched and who isn't. So again, the top line stays the same. Grundstrom, Kapari has to be on the second line. So right now it's the question of who fits in best with Grundstrom and Kapari. Is it Iafallo? Is it Van Katterson? Or is it Anderson Dolan? The argument could be Van Katterson to help get him to develop more. And, you know, you might be right. You might be right. We go Grundstrom, Kapari, Van Katterson, Iafallo, Anderson, Dolan, and Madden, which we know is a trio that works. That's still a very solid top 9. And then obviously Wagner, Kopitar, Luff now being the fourth line. That's tremendous. And all of them fit in extremely well. So defensively, the question is, Clegg really only fits in on the top pair. Bjornfot really fits in on the second pair. Zekov is in the top 4. Anisimov's good for the top 4. So is Sanderson. But Sanderson fits in the least amount at the moment when it comes to these combinations. If we look at it, I mean, Sanderson, yeah, he's... Oh boy, what are we going to do with him? Somebody has to go, obviously. Like Mo Marsh, though, the problem with him, he's not a great fit for that third pairing at all. So that's going to be a problem. He fits in a bit on the second pair, but there's no room for him. So the argument that is to be had is potentially move on from Mo Marsh before he even gets a chance, because he's simply not a good fit for this team. But the problem is the rest of the team fits in pretty well under this coaching staff, and obviously this coaching staff is top-notch. So here's a potential situation, and that is that we look to move 3 of our defensemen. Marsh, and then 2 of the other top 4 guys. And I'll give you a look at what I mean here. But yeah, wow, Mandeville, Tremblay, and Parker are all in the in juniors. So we have to sign another goalie to be down in the AHL with Twilmainen. Somebody else who could potentially be NHL level. That's fair. So again, defensively, right? Here's what I'm thinking, obviously. You move Marsh, say we move Zikoff and Sanderson. We move all three of these guys to try and get a top pairing guy. Seems like a good move to me. And as far as who's the third pairing, I don't know. We can sign whoever. But I think, obviously, Anisimov stays. But between Clegg and Zikoff, we move three of them together and try to get a top-notch defenseman. It's just a matter of who do we move. Again, Marsh is a top 6 guy right now. We just know he doesn't fit in with the team. I mean, he'd fit in the top 6. So I think by default, Marsh is going. It just makes sense. So who's joining him? Clegg, Bjornfot, Sanderson, Zikoff. 2 of them can stay, and 2 of them we're going to try to factor into a trade. So as long as I remember, there should be a poll in the description. And you know what? Again, right now, I'll literally make it as I record this. So what this straw poll is going to be is vote for who stays. Right? It's going to be multiple choice. So your options: Clegg, Bjornfot, Sanderson, and Zikoff. Vote for who you want to stay. Again, multiple choice, so you can vote for whoever. So whoever wins that poll, the top 2 stay, the bottom 2 get traded alongside Mo Marsh, and we look to bring in a big-time defenseman, and that means the top 4 will be whoever's left. Let's say Clegg and Bjornfot win. It'll be Clegg, Bjornfot, and Isimov, and whoever we bring in. And then that third pairing, it can be whoever. I mean, again, we have AHLers that we can look to bring in, and of course I have draft picks as well. You know, we have a bit of a stockpile here where we can make this work and bring in who we need. So we'll see how it plays out ultimately. I don't exactly know who we're going to bring in, but the options are there. When it comes to the goaltending situation, really quickly, again, to kind of boost that up, I want to make sure I can bring in, you know, somebody who's solid. And I mean, that's the thing. There's these other players here that, again, you would presume wouldn't go straight to junior, but other players did go right to junior. I'd have to double check as far as who's here. And actually, I already have 6 goaltenders, so the AHL goaltending is going to be rough, unless technically the exempt contracts and everything. Like, he played in Switzerland, but he wasn't that great. I don't want to risk it on a 3-year deal. So what we'll do is we'll look for a vet and bring them in. So do we have? Bernier, Grosnick, Hutch, Francouz, whatever it be, and Tokarski. I don't know how good Dustin Tokarski is at this point, but let's bring in Dustin Tokarski on a 1-year deal. Let's try to take a look at what else is going on here with this team in terms of who is not in the AHL right now and who is in junior instead, and what it's going to be. So goalie-wise, again, we know what the answer is here, as, again, Tuomainen's here, Craig Sutter's here, but obviously we're going to try to move him out. It'll be Tuomainen and Tokarski for the hell of it, because I didn't realize so many of our guys were being junior. Defensively, I mean, Dursey, hell, we could even get Sean Dursey an opportunity defensively if we really wanted to. But our defense is looking okay. I mean, Orr is ours, and he is a scratch. So I could bring in one more kind of depth defenseman. That would be a safe move. We'll do that. And then obviously, I mean, just in general, I assume I'm going to have to bring in some defensemen. And then forward-wise, is Nash ours? He is not. I highly doubt he's also below elite. Let's take a look here. Nobody's scratched that isn't supposed to be. So Bohinski's ours. Brulette is ours. So I need to bring in a defenseman and like 3 more forwards, because we actually do have quite a few guys who are down in junior. Anders Lee is going to be down in the minors this season as well. So let's see, we're at 48 contracts, but we had a lot of exempt deals. I just don't want to bring in too many players that kind of handcuffs me in the deal that I'm about to make in the next episode. I'm about to make. It's going to be in the next episode. So veteran defenseman to be a healthy scratch. Bergdorfer, Tommy Cross. I do love me some Tommy Cross. Let's bring in Travis Hamonic. Why not? For a veteran presence, we'll bring in Travis Hamonic. And for the forwards, is this Riley Nash? It is. Let's bring in Riley Nash. And at least one other dude for now. We'll look for more later. Zach Ronaldo's there. I'd prefer not to bring him in. Is this it's Chris Brown, former Portland Pirate Chris Brown. Richard Panik is there. Casey Cizikas. Chris Wagner. I'm going to keep bringing in former Bruins if I can. So there we go. That'll at least set up the AHL. So that is the big question, though. What is it going to be? Again, with the rest of the team, I'm fine and content with who we have. Now it's just a matter of Hampus Lindholm is out there. Not exactly the type of guy I was talking about. But we have options now in terms of who do we look to trade. We look to bring in a big-time defenseman. That is clearly the play. We're already listed as champions as well, so the expectations are high. But due to our own self-imposed limitations, we have some moves to think about. Hampus Lindholm and Cam Fowler, both available. Maybe not the biggest names in the world, both top 4. Both right now showing up in San Diego because it is, of course, the preseason. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He's 34. 2 years left at $8 million. Might not be a perfect fit for this team, though, but Oliver Ekman-Larsson is out there. Damon Severson at this point isn't exactly the type of player that we would have in mind. We'll just stick with this. Who's on the Boston Bruins? Do we have anybody? Nicoletti, who is top 4, but again, 34 years old. $7 million for the rest of the year. Don't know if that's who we really want. Buffalo doesn't have anybody we're looking for. Calgary. Of course, this is just the way to try and get this deal done for a little bit less than what it would cost us if we don't go for someone on the block. Vili Saariarvi is not going to work. Yes, I saw Patrick Kane there. Not a big deal for us, though. Dallas. No big names at this point. Detroit. Esa Lindell is up there for defensemen, unless, I see Mackenzie Weegar and Fitzgerald as unknowns. Nugent Hopkins, Sam Arukov, and Bear. Yeah, neither really fit for us. Florida, nobody big. Minnesota, Philippi Myers. Nope. Kevin Shattenkirk, absolutely not at this point. Montreal, nobody. Nashville, Ryan Ellis. Adrian Kempe is there. We know his value is not that high. He's a 4th liner. Ryan Ellis, though, 6.2. Perhaps doesn't fit in perfectly. Roman Josi is also still there. He's down to a top 4 defenseman. No way I'm bringing in that contract, though. Not after we just got rid of the Drew Doughty deal. Cam Dineen's there. So it's going to be an expensive move. From what we're gathering here, it's going to be expensive. But ultimately, it's going to be worth it for us to try and find a trade partner here. Klingberg, that's a little bit rough. Yes, Darnell Nurse was down there too. But yeah, there's not immediately someone that kind of jumps off the page. Vince Dunn's on a very affordable deal and fits. Now, is that as good of a defenseman as we're looking for? Maybe not. But Vince Dunn and Cale Clague leading this defense, it's not the worst idea in the world, but obviously, in terms of finding that true top pair defenseman, you're not likely to find them on the trade block, and it's going to be pretty expensive. So, can't know what to do until I hear back from you guys. Let me know what you think, who stays, who goes, and we will search for a top-notch defenseman to add to this team. Of course, as well, let me know your goals for the season. Of course, we failed one in the last season, so we've done pretty well in terms of accomplishing these goals, but let me know as well your goals for the season for this team. For now, though, we are done here. I thank you very much for watching. As always, you know the deal. If you haven't yet, feel free to drop a like, subscribe, please. I implore you. Also, check out everything in the description while you're down there checking out that poll. Of course, the links to everything. Twitch, where we stream every single damn night. Of course, the Discord, all the fun stuff. And a Patreon. The Patreon's there. Yeah, that's there. You can always check that out. Make sure as well just stay safe. Stay safe. I will see you all next time. Till then, have a good one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.